friendly Hi friends, it's Courtney, Stampin' Up demonstrator from Australia. Welcome to Hooray, it's Thursday today. And yesterday we had a new drop of goodies. We had the seasonal catalogue, so September to December drop. So all those fabulous new goodies from that are in your in the online store. Plus we had the online exclusives and a couple of new kits. So there's lots of things. If there is a link in the description, if you want to go and check them out, just check there's the tiny URL that goes to new stuff, and you'll have it all listed there. You won't have to work out which bit's which. Today I'm playing with Modern Christmas. It's a suite. It has it's one of the suites with one stamp set, die set, designer series paper, ribbon, some really cool gold hoops, and I didn't bring the gold hoops over. It doesn't have any gems or anything like that in it, but we're going to work with that. So it's a beautiful, stylish set that is working with black, gold, and white. So I'll just turn over to the other screen. I say ornamental Christmas is the stamp set that goes with it. I've also brought over my textured notes dies now, and I've only brought over 3 inks. So I've got Coastal Cabana, my Versamark, and some Memento. So we're going to have a bit of a play. I was watching one of the videos one of the artisans has done recently, and I really like what she did with the textured notes dies and a Christmas tree. So we're going to have a play with something similar and see what we come up with. All right, feel free to say hi in the chat. I haven't cut my cardstock or anything like that ready, so you'll whilst we're chatting you can say hi. So the Modern Christmas, it's the suite has this ornamental Christmas stamps and dies. Now I'll show you the dies in a sec. But this whole suite's only $157, which means you could make all your Christmas cards with it. You just need some cardstock and adhesive to go with it, and you could make some fabulous goodies. I've been playing with the designer series paper. I pulled out these two because I hadn't really decided which one, and you see it's all gold. It's just so pretty. I hadn't decided which piece I was going to play with. This paper will be used in my retreat coming up in November. I think I'm going to go with this one. Which way do I? I'm going to have to cut it that way. Because I like to do portrait cards on the whole, I will cut it this way. Ooh, there's a bit of paper stuck in there. So that I can use that as my back, because that to me is directional. It's a bit stuck there. Okay, so on this piece here we've got, hi Lisa, how you going? We've got black and white on that side, and I don't know if you can see those little inside bits are gold accents. So yes, so that's what I say. Our retreat is coming up in November, and this is the paper. This is the paper pack, and this is the stamps and dies that class attendees will get. So ornamental Christmas dies and the ornamental Christmas. It's got such a nice Merry Christmas. 'Tis the season. There's so many. Like the sentiments are lovely, but get a look at the dies because I just can't wait to show. Oh, actually, look how good's that. I do this quite frequently with my dies, and just because it makes it easier. So that's the top of the bauble, so you can turn this into a bauble, so you can put that at the top, and that bauble can go in either direction. You can put this on the circle, which is a fabulous circle. I did bring over the punch, but I really like the circle on here. These guys can get cut out of here. There's lots of different options. These seem to be really popular, these sort of shapes at the moment, instead of doing stars. They're a bit funky, and there is also an unusually funky shaped star in there. It's not even, for want of a better way of putting it. So there's lots of options in there. Now, what I've done is I've just trimmed this down so that it fits my card front. All right. And I'll just show you what I'm planning. Okay, so somewhere here, I just saw it before, there's a bone folder. I don't know what it is about the basic black. It just seems to always be a little bit fluffy when you cut it, even though I've got a new blade in. I think it seems to be one of those cardstocks that sucks up the moisture the best. I actually have, you know, those things that come in the pills. I've got some of those in the basic black just to keep it that little bit drier. And I've been painting, so everything is currently a bit black, for want of a better way of putting it. Been making tombstones. Yeah, there's more to that story. Anyway, so this is going to sit on there quite nicely, and then I am going to cover the majority of it. So I do want, there's a couple of things that I'm going to do. Actually, I might tempted to make that a little bit smaller. The couple of things that I'm going to do is I'm going to steal from underneath here, and just because I've got the textured note dies out, there is a relatively big one that I can use to do that. And I'm going to end up using these two here for something I want to do. Okay. All right, so I might use that one just to steal that piece out from there. And I do this quite frequently, especially with the specialty papers, because I'm quite happy to buy extra paper, but the majority of it's going to get hidden. So, and the beauty about using the dies to do it, you can put it through and it's straight. I mean, quite frequently I just run it through the trimmer and I eyeball it and guess where I'm cutting it, but I've got the dies here, so I might as well use them. Okay, so I'm just pinching that piece from in underneath there. All right, and that's going to be sitting behind my piece of basic white. Now, while I've got this here, actually no, I will move it because there's something I want to show you. All right, so that piece is going to sit quite nicely on here. Work out which side, and look, if you want to cut the shapes in a particular way to make it so that they, I don't know, do their thing with their eyes, because it makes you, it's a bit fuzzy, that eye thing happening there. This piece here is then able to come onto the front, because, and I'm actually going to use, I'm thinking I'll use the other side in the front, even though it's got the look. Now these guys, these are quite pretty together, and what I want to do is I'm actually going to sticky tape them together. Hi, Lol. I'm going to sticky tape these together. This is just some really old washi tape. It does go a bit off, so you just will have to be, and it doesn't tear as nicely once it's gone a bit yuck, but this one's actually really old. It's just wide, and that's why I wanted it. Oh, it won't be wide if it keeps doing that nonsense. Gotcha. Okay, so we'll just screw up that bit that I don't want. So on your glass mat, you can line it up quite nicely. So I've joined these two together, essentially. So I can send them through. I'll just get two of these to do it. I need one for the inside. There's two. And I need one for the inside. Okay. So this is going to go through a couple of times because I want more than one. Okay. Ooh. And of course, it's not going to fit more than one on my piece of paper. That's okay. I should have cut it down properly when, like, from the edges. All right, so send this through. And then we'll send it through again. Okay, on another piece of paper. Save this piece for later on. If you didn't have that second one in there, because there's no knife on the inside piece, right, which is why we've ended up with this. Save this for something else. Okay. Send this one through again. Actually, I think I might even be able to use one of these ends for my tree. So now I've got 2 frames. Just push them off. And I've got 2 extra pieces for a different card for later on. Okay. Now I'll actually send through by itself the one on the top, or the one on the outside, because my piece for the front doesn't need to be that big. It actually only needs to be this big. Okay, so send that one through as well, because I'm going to frame that. It almost looks like words scribbled on a page, doesn't it? That's it's pretty, like the squiggly lines, or the inside branches of the trees. Then I've got a frame for later on for something else if I would choose to use it. And I've got this piece here, which I'm just trying very carefully not to tear, because like I said, the washi tape is not the newest washi tape. Actually, it's not new at all. So you just got to, sometimes when it gets a bit old, it likes to fluff around a bit. Right. And pop all those other bits to the side. Okay, so I've got that. And I have 2 pieces like so. Now these 2 pieces are actually I'm actually going to glue together. And did I bring? Yes, I've got some glue. Or you know what? I haven't got some glue. It's here behind me because I've been making boxes. This glue is fabulous for gluing timber together. Hi Cheryl, how are you going? All right, so this frame, I'm going to glue this frame together. Just run a little bit of glue around the edges of it. And essentially all I'm doing is giving it a little bit of height without using a dimensional. Okay, so I'm giving it that little bit of height. It's just, I don't need a dimensional. I don't need anything like that. It's just 2 pieces of paper stuck together. If you wanted to use adhesive sheets and stick a piece together, you could, but it just gives, it adds a little bit of a textural layer. Okay, it is eventually going to get stuck onto here as well, but we're just going to make sure that it's doing what I need it to do, which is sit essentially on top of each other without being any gappy bits at the edges. And if you've got a block or a punch, you can just hold it down like so. All right, so now I'm going to put, I think this one will go up this way. So let's add a little bit of colour. Now, nobody said that Christmas has to be white, and nobody said that Christmas has to be green and red. So I've got, this is Coastal Cabana, and I'm just going to add a bit of colour to my piece of designer series paper, because at the moment it's only black and white. And you're probably wondering why I'm going off the page there a little bit onto my mat. And the reason being is because I want to make sure that it doesn't streak at me. So sometimes when your ink pad is really wet, which mine doesn't seem to be at the moment, we're still running the dehumidifier. I find that the ink pads dry out with that. But if it's really wet, you get this streaky stuff happening, and I didn't want the streaky stuff. Okay, so once you're happy with the amount of colour that you put on, keep in mind you cannot take it off. You can only put more colour on. So don't be too heavy-handed initially. Okay. Hey, Lola, have you still got Trish watching with you as well? If so, hi, Trish. All right. So it's just got a little bit of colour. It's not flat. It's, you know, it's darker in some spots and lighter in others. Okay. And we'll just grab a cleaner. Because I will take my Coastal Cabana off my fingers and off my mat, because we don't want them on there. Okay, and that piece is going to sit over the top of it. Now you can see that it's better. All right. Okay, so now we need some Christmas trees. So you'll notice in the stamp set, we've got 2 different shaped Christmas trees, and we've got 2 different shaped Christmas trees. I'm going to emboss this guy. It's been a while since I've embossed for you, isn't it? All right. I'm going to emboss this guy. So, and then I will cut him out. So I'll need this at the moment, and I'll need a stamp. This is a red rubber stamp, and I do love them, but I am afraid to tell, I am going to tell you they are going eventually. So from November, all of the product releases from November, it'll all be photopolymer. Okay, so yeah, that'll be a big change for a company that's always like been red rubber. So I brought over black and I brought over gold because I couldn't decide what color I wanted. So we'll do one of each because I do have 2 pieces of scrap. All right, I've got my heat tool here. Versamark, we'll get that happening. So we'll do, make sure it's nice and juicy. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. And I did bring over, where is it? All right, it's developed some legs. I had my embossing buddy here. Okay, we're not using embossing buddy. We're feeling brave. So we'll just stamp that one. I'm stamping that in Versamark. Cover it up. And we'll use black first. So I've got my black embossing powder in my container. Matches my fingers. Okay, this just makes it easier as far as I'm concerned. I'll just put that on there. Flick off the excess. There's some little bits, but they're not going to be too big of a problem here. Okay, and then we'll do a gold one. Make sure you put your lid back on your embossing powder straight away, essentially, because it will go everywhere. When you turn the heat gun on, it will fly everywhere. I have been known to knock it off the table, so I am a bit neurotic about doing that. Let's stamp another Christmas tree, because this one's going to be in gold because we haven't decided what color we want yet. Haven't tipped all this one out of its container yet. There is still a spoon in there though. Oh, I only did half a tree. And we'll put the lid back on. Now, if you get the little edgy bits, there it is. This paintbrush comes with the embossing kit. It has an embossing buddy, a tray, And I mean, I've got big drawers to store these, so the fact that I can store it, I can actually store them in these containers. It's not a problem. If you don't have space, the tray is your friend. I'm just going to get rid of some of these, guys. The tray is your friend because it will make it so much easier for you. You can put it back in and out. Now, I don't know if you can hear me when I do this, but where is my tweezers? Okay, they've developed legs as well. This mat is a it's tempered glass, so it will withstand the heat tool. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me talking over it or what happens. So I'm just running the embossing tool over it. Keep it moving, and you will start to see it change as that embossing powder melts. There's the black one. And now we'll do the gold one. We'll just warm Courtney up a little bit. No. All right, so how fabulous do these guys look? They're all shiny and yeah. Now, the embossing powder is actually, it's plastic, so it smells plasticky. But it's, I pulled the right one out. It's actually made from recycled PET bottles. In a lot of companies will use recycled PET bottles. And I found an interesting fact for you. So is a lot of embroidery thread that's also made from recycled PET bottles, which I always thought was the ant's pants. When I was doing a lot of embroidery, I thought that was the best thing ever. I'm going to use washi tape to hold this down because I don't want it to wiggle. All right. And as you can see, I've still got my dodgy old plates on here, even though I do have a beautiful new set sitting here beside me. It's a bit like, you know, those old comfy knickers, isn't it? You get the pairs you love, and yeah. So there's the gold one. And we'll have we'll have a black one as well. Okay. Just send that through. All right. So I've got 2 Christmas trees. You could cut them out if you wanted to fussy cut them, if you wanted to have them a little bit more shape, but you don't have to. All right, so that can go back in. Now we do have that nice big circle die. For what I want, it is actually too big. Okay, but we've got this guy. And Merry Christmas doesn't fit, but 'tis the season does. So we're going to stamp that. Got another piece of basic white here. And then you can put To Be Jolly on the inside, because that's really cool. All right. So what I haven't decided is if I'm going to stamp this and then I'm going to, oh, that's one that I was playing with. I've got Winter Stella all over it. I might just wait and see, because I don't know whether I'm going to cut black or whether I'm going to cut basic white. If I cut black, I'm going to have to do gold on it. And yeah, let's cut them both and see, because then we can just decide and I don't have to worry. Okay. So I'm going to cut these two at the same time, just because I can. And I just threw the die on the ground. So excuse me for a second while I just duck down and grab it. And we do have other oval dies, and we do have other oval punches. But if this is the only set that you buy and you want an oval, this is how we're going to do it. Okay, just going to place that one on the end here, like so. Okay, and I'm going to cut it out. Now, the reason why I'm placing it on the end is I don't need that knob. All right, and I can cut the black and the white out at the same time, and I can do two together, and then I can decide. Okay, because I'm not sure whether I'm going to use black or whether I'm going to use white. I don't even know where the white one went. It's like the universe has told me to use. And then we're going to need our scissors, and we're just going to fussy cut off the end. You're going to have to hold your tongue right to do it. So that's why I wasn't talking. All right, so there we have a dodgy looking oval, but it's still an oval and it still looks pretty cool. Okay, and we have two, almost like a bean. But yeah, okay, so if we were to we'll do this in black first. This is just meant, so we'll do it in black on the basic white one. I'm going to shove it over to the side a bit. Tis the season. Okay. Put this one aside because I don't think I'll use that one. All right. And then we'll go with, we need the little star and to be jolly. Okay. Out of there. All right. Now on our piece of, what we're going to do here, this is our front piece, okay, peoples? I've also pulled over because I just really like it. This is Beautiful Butterflies. I really like these dots. Use any dots that you've got. If you've got the brand new gingerbread man, there's cookie crumbs, but you can use them as dots in there as well. So any dotty type of stamp that you've got. And we're going to sort of work out where we want to put it. Because this guy's going to sit here. Let's take that one off there. We are going to stamp some stars around. This is going to sit there like so. And this is going to be, I'm thinking that needs to be black with gold writing. These guys are going to sit here. Okay, yep, this needs to be black with gold writing. Okay, so we need to do that. Because otherwise it gets lost, is the reason why I'm doing that. Okay? Man, that's so dodgy. And yeah, that's better. All right, so I'm going to stamp that one again. I'll just give it a clean so that we don't want to put black ink on our Versamark. Okay, guys? Because it's not a good look. And you will end up needing to buy a new Versamark. Okay, so we're going to do that in gold. Okay. So there's some really cool baker's twine that comes with this set as well. That has gold in the baker's twine, and it's two different pieces, which is so nice. Okay, I will be doing for my retreat I will be doing retreat in a box if anyone can't make it to my place. So if you do want to do this retreat, this card won't necessarily be one of them, but you never know. The option will be there for you to, you could do this one if you wanted to, because there will be lots of stuff left over, because there always is. Lots of goodies. Now, this one is not getting cut out any further, so you do need to make sure there's no fingerprints, there's no extra bits of little gold all over it, because we don't necessarily want it to be, I don't know, what's the word, fluffy, like looking like there's gold snow everywhere. All right, so we'll just melt this. This one you might be able to see better when it changes colour. You see that? How cool does that look? You don't want to heat it up too much because you can burn it and then it goes dull. But like, how cool does that look? Okay, so now we've got little spots and we've got stars. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this piece of white is plain at the back, and I'm thinking that I need some spots based in Memento, and I'm going to have some Coastal Cabana stars. Okay, this piece is going to be here. Oh, I'm getting a bit of a shadow there. Might not press so hard on it. Okay, so just do a couple of stars. All right. And then we're going to do some dots. I'll clean it before I stick my fingers in it. They're already dirty enough. Okay, some dots. Now, I do think they need to be dark dots just because of the way it is. If you've got any little marks that you ended up putting around, you can cover them up. And the beauty about this stamp set that I'm using with this, where the dots are from, is that it's photopolymer, so I can see where I have been. Okay. And that just adds a little bit of another layer, for want of a better way. It takes away some of that white. If you wanted to add some gold dots, you can. Literally just to add gold dots. It's up to you. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I need to stamp a tree on the inside. I need to do that, but that's okay. We can get round to that. Okay, so that bit's going to go there. This bit here is now going to sit on my feature piece. So we're going to stick this on, and it's exactly the same size. So again, it's going to be another layer. So it's going to make this frame pop up a bit. We're still going to, like, I don't know what the right word, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. We're still going to use some dimensionals on other bits, but this particular bit isn't going to go on with dimensionals. It's going to go on flat. And if you sort of just help it along there, the glue, because it's wet glue, you've got a little bit of time. Okay. All right. So where's my card front? It's here. I'm just going to put this piece here on. Make sure you turn it over and put the glue on the right side that you want stuck down. Okay. And hold your tongue right. Get that out of the way. You can do this in any color. So essentially you can actually make it so that all your Christmas cards are color coded to what your friend's favorite color is. I'm going to stick this one down as well now. So if you've got a friend that's favorite color is purple, like Cheryl, you can make her a purple Christmas card, because nobody said Christmas needs to be red and green. Okay. I love this scalloped edge down here. Part of me wishes that I'd cut the other side to match, but it probably wouldn't have worked. Okay, so that's going to go there like so. You can work out which way up you want it. Choice is yours. Now this is the baker's twine. How cool is that? The beauty about if you've got the Stampin' blends, you can color this one here, the white one, with your Stampin' blends for a bit of a different, so you can make your baker's twine gold and whatever color you wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to stick this down flat, and I think I'm going to go that way so it looks like snow on the trees. That would look nice too, but you know, to me it was a bit too busy. All right, I'm going to go a little bit up from center, so there's a bit of a bigger gap at the bottom. Okay, and then this guy's going to go here, and it's up to you whether you use the black or the gold tree. Both look, should I say, fabulous, but that's all right. So it's up to you which one you use. If you want to use both, it's up to you which one you put on top. Okay, choice is yours. So I'm thinking, oh, do I want to use both or do I just want to use one? I actually think I just want to use one and have that gold as my featurey piece. But I'm going to have this black and gold trim as well. So this here on my table, there is a piece of double-sided adhesive tape. Okay, tear and tape is your friend, and I know that I'm going to be putting this sentiment about so. So I can stick a piece of tear and tape underneath there, which I can use to anchor my twine. All right, I can stick another piece over the top of it, but it means that I can then use it to anchor my twine depending on which way I want my twine to, so that I can actually loop my twine how I want to loop my twine. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to do a couple of loops of twine. And before I cut it, I'm going to check that it's sitting how I want it to sit underneath where my sentiment will be. Because my sentiment's going to go here, and then my tree is going to go here. Okay. So then I'll just chop that off. Force it into submission where I want it to sit. You can stick, yeah, purple, black and gold would look gorgeous, Cheryl. Stick another piece of tape over it. That's going to get hidden. So it doesn't matter that there's tape over the top of that, right? Because all of that's going to get hidden by our sentiment and by our trees. If you wanted to put a little bit of, we're going to use the black tree. If you wanted to put a little bit of your Coastal Cabana up the middle of your tree just so that you can see the colour, you can. Just to give it a little bit of colour. All right. That's really, really faint. but promise you, it's there. Okay, we need some dimensionals. Oh, I don't want minis, I want big ones. Okay, so I'll put 2 down this end. Okay, and I'll put one up here and one here. Why did I stick it on there to do that? Because I wanted to see where the twine was underneath, because I don't want to, I wanted it to straddle the twine. Put it on so that it's straight. And it's not. So don't press it down too hard until you've got, make sure you've got it straight. And then our tree is going to sit like so. So this piece here does not need a dimensional. All right, we just need to come down this side with the dimensionals, and there'll need to be one down along that bottom as well. All right, now this is where you want the minis. We'll put a mini up the top here. Okay, cut these guys off. Oh, that one didn't come off. Put my tree on nice and straight. And I'm just pushing my bits of twine so that they don't get stuck underneath that mini dimensional. Okay. There we have the front. This is really pretty. Okay, so we need to do the inside now. So you've got another piece of cardstock here for your inside, and it's up to you whether you can just stamp a black tree on the inside. You can emboss a tree. I'm just going to stamp one, but I'm actually going to stamp it in the Coastal Cabana. Oh, I could put it. No, I won't do that. It currently has Versamark on it. If you wanted to stamp and emboss in Coastal Cabana, you put Versamark on the stamp first, and then what you would do is you'd stick it in your Coastal Cabana and you put clear embossing powder over the top. All right, so but I'm just going to put a Coastal Cabana tree in here. Because I can, and it's such a pretty color. And I had an envelope here, and guess what she's going to get the same treatment. She's going to get a Coastal Cabana tree, but she's only getting part of a tree. Actually, she might get 2 trees. A bit like the forest. Oh, I think I need to do a bird to get rid of that, because I wobbled my hand. All right, so we've got 3 trees on there, and we need To Be Jolly is going to be in black. Oh, I'm not putting a star on the tree. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la. What's your favourite Christmas carol? Pop it in the comments. My favourite is actually The Little Drummer Boy, because I love it when it does rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. They told me rum-pa-pum-pum. So if you watch me regularly, you'll know I don't put them in the centre. I don't put them in the middle of the card. I put them somewhere down the bottom deliberately so that I don't have to actually make sure I line it up. Okay. Does anyone else like The Little Drummer Boy? Actually, we could do a couple of little dots around here as well. They look like stars then. Since once we've got it out. On the weekend, I used it as fizzy pop dots. So yeah, a couple of little dots around the trees. And we'll just clean off the table there for a bit. All right. Pop this on the inside. Need some glue. Okay. And we have now got one Coastal Cabana Christmas card using the very beautiful suite called Modern Christmas. Now, there is no dots or anything like that, no gems in this suite. So if you wanted to pull out some gems, you could from one of the other suites. I did bring over, and they've developed some legs. I did bring over some gems, but I don't know. Oh, there they are. All right. These are the neutral matte dots. I thought that these would work quite nicely, especially the black ones in here. The little tan ones would probably work as well. But because we actually use the stamp, that one doesn't have sticky behind it. No wonder. I bet that sticky's stuck on one of these guys. Because we use the stamp, some of these, it's already got some dots on it. So these black ones might end up a little bit, might disappear a little bit into it, but get off there. It's still nice to have that little extra layer of texture. All right. Because they're just that little bit bigger and a little bit darker. And that there is one very pretty Modern Christmas card. And like I said, you could do it in any colour that you liked. So if you're a pink person, you could do it in pink. If you're, it just, black and white and gold go beautifully with everything. What do you think? All right, everybody love it? Whoop. So where is my mouse gone? The new catalogue has started, and I haven't got my mouse. Oh, there it is. Now I can go like this and see you all. The new catalogue has started, and that Modern Christmas is a suite that is actually an online exclusive. Hold on a second. Is it an online exclusive or in the catalogue? I'm not sure. I think it's actually online exclusive. When you go into the online store, hit what's new and you will see everything. Thanks, Lol. Everything that is new, which is always a great place to start. I'm going to head off now, and I will catch you all